Takfiri and Muslim brothers escalate their crimes, and the Egyptian government continues to impose the rule of law and to spread security. And the Syrian Army controls the mountain of Ishaya and the surrounding area after killing the terrorists there and capturing their weapons. Thousands of people take part in protest demonstrations in various areas of Al-Bahrain against the policies of its ruler of Al-Khalifa family. Good afternoon, this is news in English from the Syrian Army television in Damascus. Prime Minister Dr. Wael Halaqi asserted that more than 14 billion Syrian pounds were distributed among the people harmed by the current crisis in the country. During the inauguration of the 37th annual conference of the Syrian dentist, Al-Halaqi said the government continued to secure the basic needs of the people living in nearly 900 temporary sheltering centers. Iraqi Prime Minister Nour al-Maliki renewed Iraq's support for the efforts to find a political solution to the crisis in Syria through dialogue. During his meeting of Mr. Jeffrey Feltman, Deputy UN Secretary General for Political Affairs, Mr. al-Maliki called upon the UN, the international community and the states of the region to exert pressure on various parties in Syria to sit at the dialogue table and to find a solution to the crisis. He warned against supporting extremism and terrorism by some parties in the region. In field developments and in the northern countryside of Lattakia, units of the Syrian Army controlled the mountain of Ishaya and the surrounding areas, killing and wounding the last group of terrorists who were fortified there. A Syrian Army unit also confiscated their weapons and ammunition and defused explosive devices which they planted in this area. Units of the Syrian Army restored security to several villages in Lattakia Countryside and bounded their hideouts, killing dozens of them, mostly non-Syrians. A military source said that the dead terrorists included Abu Abdullah al-Maduki, Hamza and Usama al-Maslati of Tunisian nationality, in addition to Ahmed Nishan. During the inspection operations in several villages, the Syrian Army unit found large amounts of weapons, ammunition and Turkish-made medical compounds. During an attack on a terrorist hideout in Al-Fayha quarter in Hama, a Syrian Army unit captured various weapons and ammunition. During the attack, most of the terrorists were killed, including one of their leaders, called Hisham Abdul Razzaq al-Sahad. Units of the Syrian Army in the farms of Douma in Damascus countryside killed Ratib Serawil, the leader of the terrorist gang, and most of his followers. A Syrian Army unit also destroyed the terrorist hideout of the so-called al-Nusra front in the same area. The army also dealt a heavy blow to terrorist gangs near the schools of Halasta, inflicting heavy casualties among them. A Syrian Army unit also continued to chase the terrorists of al-Nusra front in Al-Ziyabiya and Daraya, destroying their hideouts and killing many of them. In the framework of targeting infrastructure and public and services facilities, an armed terrorist group yesterday attacked gasoline and diesel tanks in Hasake, leaving great damage on them and causing heavy losses. Manager of the Mahruqat fuel company in Hasake, Mahmoud Sheikh, said that the terrorist attack resulted in heavy material damage to a tank that contained 500,000 liters of diesel and caused a big fire, noting that none of the workers was harmed. He pointed out that the firefighters put off the fire, although they were targeted by the terrorists in an attempt to force them not to reach the site. In Egypt, a soldier was killed and 4 policemen were wounded in armed attacks on inspection points and a camp of the Central Security Forces in northern Sinai. The Ministry of Interior said that nearly 400 persons were detained inside a mosque in central Cairo. They included 3 Irish persons, a Turk and a Syrian. They are under investigation. The occupation of the mosque led to the discovery of some automatic weapons, cocktail molotovs, and a large amount of ammunition in that mosque. An Egyptian security source said that the number of victims among the policemen during the disturbance created by the Muslim Brotherhood in the last 5 days rose to 70 dead people. In Lebanon, the General Directorate of Security detained 4 suspects of a network detonating booby-trapped cars in Lebanon. One of those cars was observed by the General Directorate of Security and inspected by an expert. Security sources said yesterday that a booby-trapped car was found carrying nearly 250 kilograms of explosives to the south of Beirut near the municipality of An-Nami. And in Bahrain, thousands of people participated in protests in different areas against the policies of Al-Khalifa rulers. The protests were part of the activities of the capital of the revolution, which took place amid heavy security measures by Bahraini security forces. The demonstrators demanded a political reform and chanted slogans condemning the repressive policies and practices of the Bahraini regime, stressing their determination to continue their protest until they meet their demands, despite the campaign of arrests carried out by the security forces of Al-Khalifa. In turn, the Bahraini opposition warned the rulers against betting on the escalating violence in the country in order to increase their violations of human rights in Bahrain. And with this we end our news for today. More details on our website in English, www.syriaonline.sy. Stay with us. After the break, the latest in the world of economy and finance in our economic news.